Hello and welcome back to Distant Worlds 2. We are continuing our Mortalen playthrough here, and we have just exited our war with the little Hakonish peoples, and they're still alive, but they are much weaker than they were. The next war that we're kind of gearing up for is going to be a three-way war with the, well, four-way, I guess, with the Camino League, Dumberdin Empire, Ignatia Order, and the Kuriba Horde. They're all grouped together in one big happy family. Well, I guess the Kuriba Horde's not, but they're the weakest one of the bunch, so they're not the one I'm worried about. This one here that I'm worried about. So if we look at the victory screen, we could see that we are actually in first place, just barely ahead of the Shakturi, and then the Ignatia Order's really close behind. Surprisingly, these guys are at 26%. I don't know how. I just knocked them down to highest trade income in the galaxy, huh? I just decimated their economy. I don't know how that could possibly be a thing anymore. But, whatever. So let's go ahead and sort everything the way that we like to sort it. Our military is at 4.4 million, which is not as big as it was. So I got to figure out what happened there. My guess is some ships got destroyed. So let's just top up some ships. We were close to 5 million, which is still not enough because each one of these civilizations had like 5 to 10 million, and the Shakturi have like 16 million power. So definitely not to scale, but economically we can't really afford it at the moment. We are going to have to figure out how we're going to handle that. Let's go ahead and crash research this mega carriers, and then we could worry about producing that. World ship is something I could retrofit. Same with army transport. I probably should. That's too many years. Colossal construction. We'll have to go back and do that one later. We have a bunch of techs queued up. I'm thinking these techs are actually gonna help our economy. So let's maybe bump those up the list. Let's see what happens. Those are only a year each, so they'll probably be fine. We're waiting on recovery anyway at this point. Let's go ahead and look at the colonies that we have. I'm gonna sort them by suitability. And I think at this stage of the game, size 18s are fine to colonize. 17 we might do in a little while, but right now we can't support the economic burden that would have. Let's see what we got here. We want to build as many of these as possible, because each one of these does give a +2 leader quality. So if I look at our overall bonus, where's all of our bonuses listed? I keep forgetting. There it is. All right, so leader quality. It's got to be massive. There it is, 295. So it's not as massive as I thought it would be, but maybe it'll get there. All right, let's sort by population, see what we can kind of shift around here. I do think I need to manually build some stuff here. So let's go ahead and build troop transport. We know, and same with the colony ship. We know those two things have better versions. So what is it the expedition transport? No, it's the army transport. That's the biggest one. So let's auto-generate that design. All right, looks pretty solid. Don't need anything too fancy. It's just the transport. Troop Army 1. Alright, so those will retrofit into that. And then colony ship was the other one. World ship is the specific one we need. We do have this new integrated command center, which we could retrofit all of our ships to have. But I feel like that's not what we want to do at the moment. I did want to change this to retreat. We'll say when it's damaged below 50%. All right, that should be fine. And outside of that, we'll just leave everything the same. Well, I gotta tire the other one. All right, so that should be good enough. Let's go to our home planet. And we want to build a couple colony ships there. Even if we're not actually using them from there. I want to manually control these ones. Because I want to convert some of these outposts to actual colonies. Did we ever build those interceptors? I'm pretty sure we did. Alright, our economy is starting to bounce back, it looks like. We're getting more and more into the positive. Alright, mega carriers are almost done. We'll probably switch to those as soon as those are available to us. I'm going to bump that stuff down the list. I really want to get some of these diplomacy techs and see how the economy handles that. The other thing I want to do, I want to look at our spaceport locations, and I want to spit out a couple more. Pretty much wherever I can build them. Scope out the mining stations as well. We did capture a bunch. Right, there's nothing really worth constructing here. All right, mega carrier's done. Colony ships are complete. You will be manual, and you will be manual. And then if we look at the planets, we have it sorted by population. It is Bastini, is Hakonish. And then Usul is Xenox. Everybody else technically should maybe stay a yeah, plus 19 for Gazarians. That's not too bad. We could potentially make this into something. We need another colony ship. But anyway, let's fill up with Hakonish and fill up with Xenox. What do we have on this planet? None of that. We do have Hakonish right here, and it is maxed out. Alright, is there any ice planets nearby? I'm pretty sure this system had one. Yes, okay. You can load up. You're not maximum, but you're getting pretty close. We could definitely fill a whole ship. Alright, humans done. These techs should all churn through pretty quick. Sounds like there's some combat going on around here. Right, these guys don't have anything too special. Shockingly, we have not finished loading all these yet. These apparently can hold a lot of colonists. All right, so 89 million, it looks like. Let's find our planet here. This one is the Hakonish. Why do I think it would be more than that? All right, let's get this guy nice and close. All right, once this is filled up to 89 million, we'll move it over here, and then we'll get ready to abandon these. All right. So maybe I was wrong about the diplomatic tech. I'm not seeing our revenues go up really at all. I mean, beyond the normal growth from assimilation and whatnot. It's plus 18. Restricted trade agreement. I mean, they went from going to war with me to making a restricted trade agreement. That's kind of crazy. Our reputation is pretty solid now. I guess anything to help the old economy. So maybe these aren't as useful as I thought they were. Or they just aren't anymore. That's only one day from getting done. We could add psychic defense fields to the mix here. I like the idea of heroic leaders. It's pretty cheap, and then we can... It increases all of our leaders across the board, including our, like, emperor, which we can then cycle. Maybe get something a little better. Group recovery rate would be pretty good. Those are all like a year each. Should probably bump this up the list a little bit. Better crew would be good. Advanced habitability. I don't want it at the top of the list, but I do want it maybe here. Because we're starting to stagnate on our planets because the maximum population. So the better I can improve this, the quicker our growth can continue to happen. And more population is more tech. So it kind of scales itself. All right, if it's 5 or 6 years, I'm not ready to make that type of commitment yet. I mean, it's not terribly far away, but it's enough to make me hesitate. See if there's anything cheaper we could still do. This would be good to get, but we could wait a little bit on that. Man, this guy is crashed. We got a lot of repairing to do. Don't these ships have some sort of repair? Yeah, they have repair bots. All right, we could definitely afford to crash research everything. I'm not sure why the AI isn't doing it automatically when we have this much cash on hand. But I'm going to tell it as soon as I recognize it, I'm going to tell it to do it. We're going to have to start staging our ships. We're probably going to need some smaller ships. Or I should say some smaller fleets. Like we have these micro defense fleets. We probably need some micro attack fleets as well. That just have a bunch of the tinier ships. Just something to keep them occupied. All right, let's do 200-meter range. Fleet tactics. Same location. Well, maybe same system, because I would want them to hop around. Alright, escort, frigate, destroyer. Might even go as far as to say cruisers for this. And then we definitely want fuel tankers. So we'll do 4 cruisers, 8, 16, and 30. I guess 32. We'll just do a doubling of each. 2 4s, 2 4, 8, 16, 32. So call it micro attack, even though it's the largest fleet we have. All right, let's build like, I don't know, 5 of them. Oh boy. Okay, so all our micro attack fleets are created and ready to go. Well, they're being built, but I think I do want them positioned a little more strategically. So at least one of you can come over here. Probably want more than one of you over here, to be honest. We'll need a couple up in this region. Well, this is going to be tricky for them to navigate through, so I'm thinking up here is probably a better spot. All right, so that's 2 up there. And then we don't have anything over in this area, so we probably should park at least something here. All right, looks like they are retrofitting and getting more troops. They're all switched over to army transports now. At least some of them. Our cash flow has reduced now that we've built a bunch more ships. But I imagine it's just going to get better over time. All right, so we can start doing this. Let's abandon this. And then immediately colonize it. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to abandon. And then immediately colonize. Because why wouldn't we? They want non-aggression. Do I want that? I don't think it matters, because when I declare war, they're going to back up their buddies. We definitely have to wait for all our fleets to move around and get built. A couple more spots we could build spaceports. Oh, this is growing fast. Plus 18%. That's huge. We never crash researched this. It didn't happen automatically, unfortunately. All right, so these guys outmatch us like 4-1 on our micro fleets versus these bigger fleets. So I definitely still need some like big fleets with lots of battleships in them. Let's go ahead and double check our attack fleet here. We have 5 battleships, 5 carriers, 2 cruisers. Different types of cruisers. Okay. So we might at some point change that. Our shield multipliers, we could definitely crash research that. Our research is almost at 20,000 now. So that's really growing rapidly. I think the hard part's going to be finding Gazurians in our empire to be able to colonize this planet. Right, these are all minus 50 here. shocked at how low the population on this planet was and is. All right, so Shakturi there, and Gazurian here. 2 more colony ships would do us nicely. Alright, V2 Meridian Shields I still don't think are better than the Bubble Shields. I think we're still fine with that for now. I'm shocked at how rough our economy is for this late in the game. Alright, both these colony ships are done. Alright, so one of them needs to be Shakturi. One of them needs to be something else. Gazurian? Yes. Gazurian. Well, Shakturi's easy enough. Gazurian might be a little more difficult. Let's see if we could shop around and find a planet that's got Gazurian on it. Here, you got Gazurian on you. So this just lets me load Mortalen. I need more Gazurians. You really won't let me pick anybody other than that, huh? Alright, these are completely assimilated here. There we go. Now we're getting them. I kind of want to mess around with the tax rates and just see if we get more or less if we mess around with them. Alright, we definitely lose money when we do that. They're a lot happier. That's maybe a little too unhappy. All right, increasing habitability would be really good. More population is more better. I do feel like our pop is pretty tiny for what it should be. If we take a look at these guys, our pops are on the same size. We have more planets than they do. Yeah, their pop's bigger. We have way more research. All right, let's move over to here. Get ready to switch this from an outpost to a colony. I don't know what's going on with our cash. I still feel like it's messed up pretty bad. All right, so I think this was at 30, 15, and 5, maybe? Maybe 5. All right, this isn't changing any of these numbers down here. This guy must have been really close by for him to be this ready to colonize already. All right, so let's abandon that and then immediately colonize it. What happened to you? Why'd you stop in the middle of nowhere? All right, let's build up what we can there. Why would human come over onto this planet? It's no need. All right, let's abandon this and then actually colonize it. How are these revenues looking? Pretty rough. So it looks like we're still waiting on some assimilations to happen. All right, so now our outposts are mostly just things that should be outposts. With some exception here, like this could be a planet. Looks like we're still flying around loading up troops, but our troop transports now are pretty sizable. A lot of little fleets bouncing around over here. Oh, okay. So the improvement only or the needing to keep the habitability facility only applies if it's less than 20 to begin with. Interesting. So these recurring techs are cheaper than the final tech. So really just slamming through that final tech to get to the recurring techs might be a good move. These are all expensive, but I will rush most, if not all of them, and then we'll start working on these recurring techs that are relatively cheap. All right, that should be good for now. I do feel like more defense fleets would probably be a good idea. We're likely going to need them. Look at the victory condition. We could see, yeah, these guys are still, we're all kind of tied for first right now. My hope is they just stay occupied enough for me to get over there. Limited trade agreement? I mean, I'll agree with it for now. I mean, eventually we're going to war. Our research output dropped a lot, and that's just because we don't have enough funding. I'll buy that guy back and get a full map of the galaxy. Part of me wants to specifically go after the purple guys, but if I could hit the Camino League as well while I'm at it, I don't see why I shouldn't. All right, well, the Admiral, they're both Admirals, so I guess it really doesn't matter. We need more revenue. So we see colony taxes are currently projected at 2.6 million. If I change this to make them happy, yeah, that dropped our tax revenue considerably. All right, that went back to 2.7 now, because I bumped medium up a little bit, so we are collecting more money overall, which should actually help our research a little bit. I feel like exploration ships are probably kind of a waste at this point. I don't think any of them are doing anything. We should probably scrap them. It's just wasted money at this point. Spaceports are expensive, but I think they're worth it. Rest of the stuff pretty much has to stay. This is private economy. We don't pay this. I don't know how. I wonder how you deploy the plague. Why are we not attacking this thing? We're just like hovering around it, not hitting it. Well, it looks like we're still automatically founding some colonies, even though I thought they were all discovered already. All right, our cash flow is getting even worse. It turned red for a second there. Not sure why. When our population is growing, that should equal more tax revenue. All right, so I spent a ton of money converting all my prisoners over to my admirals. Also fired a couple admirals that had demoralizing traits, just because that was not helping anyone at all. I'm taking a quick gander through these guys, making sure none of these are demoralizing. Nope. All right, so we have a little bit of positive cash flow, which means some of our planets' populations are starting to become assimilated. I do think we're going to try. We look at our leader. We finished that tech that gives us some extra bonus leader research, or some leader bonus. So if we look at leader bonus, wherever that's at, somewhere on this list, leader quality, 318%, pretty solid. Our leader only changes every 100 years by default. So he's got a couple traits. Nothing too crazy. I'm a little nervous about losing the ship maintenance savings. That's something that's really beneficial to us. But let's see what happens. A new leader will be generated. Hopefully with some good traits. Okay. Not better. Definitely not better. Well, he does have colony corruption reduction, the new leader. So maybe this could be good. Reduced corruption should translate to more money. And that will build up over time. All right, well, let's let that ride out for a while. All right, we have the psionic virus cure. I don't know why this would be affecting us anymore. All right, our economy is starting to look better, but I'm still hesitant about building any more fleets because we're going to need to retrofit everything anyway. And we have multiple techs queued up that could potentially be, I don't want to say game changing, but significant. Absorbing armor will be pretty significant. Radiant shields. If we do end up getting, and I'm going to rush these techs, so we should, it's going to be very expensive to rush, but I'm going to do what I can. All right, there's half my money gone just to crash research this absorbing armor. I mean, we've got to be ahead of these guys scientifically, I would think. Let's take a quick look at their ships and just see what we're looking at here. Yeah, so they have ion hardened armor, bubble shields. Their weapons are kind of weak. I mean, this is pretty good. So we need things that we don't need to invest a lot in shields because these do shield bypass. We need to do things that a little more armor. All right, I changed the composition of my attack fleets. So my attack fleets now, I've gotten rid of, they're predominantly cruisers and battleships and carriers now. I got rid of all the tiny ships out of the main attack fleets. We'll leave the tiny ships for the micro attacks and micro defenses. I'll probably change the defense fleet at some point too, but financially I'm struggling a little bit right now. Kind of rebuilding all these fleets, so I'll let that churn out and then hopefully we'll be all right. Kind of hoping this would be done by now. I feel like it's taking a long time. Fleet carriers are next, so once we retrofit that, that'll be an improvement. I'm guessing when these are done, these are going to be pretty sizable. All right, so we got the advanced armor. Now we're working on the dreadnoughts. I think once we hit that, yeah, they're still at indestructible compounds. So I think once we hit that and get this tech, we'll retrofit all those ships. Meridian Shields V2 is better than Bubble Shields by a little bit. So we could actually put those on our ships, do the retrofitting and all that. And since that's an in-place upgrade, it won't really affect anything. The one thing that won't be on there is the Omega Beams, which I'm currently researching. We could retrofit down the road for that, but the quantum shards and the Omega Beams, and I think maybe the advanced down near the bottom here. Yeah, the forge rail batteries are one of the few things that you could actually increase damage on. A lot of times you can't increase the damage. You can increase the speed, the rate of fire and everything, but that consumes more energy, and then you need to research the tech to reduce energy consumption. So you have to almost research at a 2-to-1 ratio to really benefit from that. Whereas the other one, you could just research raw damage as far as the repeatable techs go. So 2 more years, and then we'll revisit this, retrofit our ships. We're also doing assault bombers and fighters, but those could be rebuilt at any time. Really, we're just worried about the primary fleet structure. Once we retrofit our ships, once we redesign our ships, we're going to retrofit all our ships. Once all that retrofitting is done, then we are going to war, and that will be in the next episode for sure. All right, so I am now building out my first dreadnought. It's looking pretty sparse. I can't fill all these slots because I don't have enough size. However, the recurring tech does increase the hull size. So over time, I will be able to max this ship out and have every slot full without any issue. But for now, we'll do that. And then we will sunset this old battleship. The other thing I want to do is just kind of retrofit everything. Small spaceport. Integrated command center has more maintenance savings, so I definitely want to do that. This does upgrade that to absorbing armor, which is fine by me. You know, let's start with state ships, because I just really need to retrofit all of these ships. For now, it's still bubble shields, but it does swap it to the absorbing armor, so I will take that. And the integrated command center, that's going to lower my maintenance costs across my entire fleet. Something that definitely needs to happen. This guy's weapon does not matter that much. All right, Fleet Command Cruiser. This is the one I need to modify a little bit. I'm gonna take the stealth cloak off because that really doesn't matter. I really want the area shield recharge. That's kind of the primary purpose of this guy existing. I think the electromagnetic, well, that and the fleet countermeasures and fleet targeting. All right, latest design for largest hull for roll. I did need to build the new carrier. Fleet carrier is the new MVP. So hopefully that focused pretty heavily on starfighter bays. Why would you not max out? Hive hangars, they don't build as fast, but they carry more. I think I'd rather just have the more. And seeing as this is a carrier, I would think we'd want to max that out. All right, rest of that looks good. This is still hanging onto the heavy railgun, which probably should go. I think it should be replaced with a forge rail battery. All right, looks like there's a couple small weapons we could throw on here. Let's throw on some small Titan blasters. We got a little bit of wiggle room. All right, this is where some of the cost savings are going to come in here. Oh, we're one over. Let's get rid of this baby railgun, I guess. We don't want a railgun. We want a forge rail battery. Or, better than that, that does do shield bypass. Actually, that might be good to keep on there. But what can we take off then? I guess the autocannon? I don't know why it would need to be in that slot. That's way too big. Guess we'll just slap a small one on there. Call it a day. Then we'll upgrade these just to keep that cost down. Actually, that's the same command module. I don't think that changes anything. So it does up the armor. All right, so we definitely have some retrofitting to do. I will let that play out. And then next episode, I think what we do is wait for some of the stuff to scale up a little bit. The rest of the stuff we could, I guess we could kind of research as we go along and rescale as we go. But we definitely have to wait for some of this retrofitting to pan out. So we'll let the retrofitting take place. See what this looks like. We did not redesign the state bases or the civilian ships, so I will do that in between episodes, get those maxed out, and then we should be good to go. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to see more content in the future. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.